This is mine design for the Firefly. The best way to talk about the role and purpose of the Firefly is that it's the quintessential gauze, gloves, and scissor pouch. Pretty minimalist in its nature. Best thing that it's actually used for is to be the front pouch for the shoulder strap of the DV2 and the Nemesis. It can be mounted on the side of DV2 and Nemesis. And you flip to the back, every Firefly will come with its own molly clip, so you can actually run it through a belt if you want to wear it that way. If you want to use our modular straps, you can actually wear it with practice shorts, joggers, for any practice and game scenario. All right, so we are going to go over the front flap of the Firefly. So as you see here, we have a 2x3 Velcro panel with a pull tab. Now at the front, we do have a small elastic loop. A lot of people have asked, what is it meant to do? So we actually designed it to store nail clippers or chapstick. I just didn't put it in here. At the front, we have another elastic dispenser, and this is actually designed to dispense rubber gloves. So as you open the front flap, what we did specifically is to make sure that we actually have fabric to separate the glove dispenser pocket, and now you have extra space here just to put your small little items that you want to grab just for quick access. As we close the flap, on both sides that are sewn into the front of the Firefly, we have 4-inch high elastic pen loops, so you can fit our pen lights, hand sanitizers, or our tack pen. On every Firefly, no matter what color, what fabric, you're going to have water resistant zippers. And on the sides, we're gonna have D-rings. On my setup, I just have a CPR mask, portable one. You run carabiners through here. If you're wondering, our tape holders, if you wanna try to put them through there, the black one will most likely work. Any other color will just be a little bit too wide for it. So as we go into the main compartment, the Firefly only has one zipper pocket. It's gonna be 2.5 inches in depth, so that means that whatever you're putting in here, there's gonna be a limited amount of space to what you can actually get in there. On one side, you have a simple mesh pocket. On the other side of it, you have another simple mesh pocket. My personal loadout, I usually put extra Band-Aids or my multi-tool. Just grabbing some tape here, for example. Just like with the DV2, it is recommended that when you have a regular 1.5 inch roll of white tape, you stack it this way. It will fit just fine. And then if you have any slimmer rolls of PowerFlex, you can stack it this way. Or if you want to stack it the other way, it will fit. Now, when you have full rolls of tape in there, you do have to consider that you're not going to have as much space for other things. So whatever other items you do put in your mesh pockets, you're going to be limited with how much you put in there. And what's going to happen is that it is going to push against the back and the front of the pouch. So you have to be very mindful of that. If you're not running with tape inside your Firefly, one of my favorite things I like to do is actually put a lot of gauze in here and then hydrogen peroxide, just because I'm in a lot of situations where I have to clean up blood. And with this smaller loadout, you will have more space to put other, bulkier items in your mesh pockets as needed. Now, when you actually go to the back of the Firefly on this element here, so we have an integrated scissor holder. With using Velcro One Wrap, you can easily hook it and unhook it. And it's going to be a little bit difficult to see, but there is going to be a little sleeve that is behind this part of the scissor holder. And the reason why we put that in there is that when you put your scissors in, when you're moving around, these scissors should stay in place. Now, if you actually link up your scissors and you don't put in that little slot, and you loop it, if there's too much movement, that means that your scissor is not actually in there. All right, so with the scissor holder, the Firefly is actually is compatible with both Leatherman Raptor models, your Super Pros, and most EMT shears. And if you're actually mounting the Firefly in the side of your DV2 or Nemesis, and if you don't actually need the scissor holder and you just want to use the pouch portion itself, you could actually take the scissor holder and actually fold it in, just like that. It's up to you. If you want to, you can still leave it out there. I just wanted to give you all that notice. And next, we're actually going to roll to the back of the pouch. Every Firefly is going to come with 2 3-inch high molly clips. Now, if you want to run a belt through it, if that's your vibe, all you have to literally do is just put your belt and just run it underneath the clips. With the clips by itself, you don't actually have to adjust them to modify your belt. Since it's 3 inches high, it can pretty much fit any belt that you need to. And if you do want to remove your molly clip so that you could apply our modular strap, all you're going to do is take this end right here, click it down, and push through. Just like that. Push down here on that little tab. This part will go down, and that's how you remove it. The modular strap actually will be a little bit looser when you add it on, so I'm actually going to remove it for y'all to kind of showcase that. So you're going to push down, you're going to find that little divot in the split bar, give it a little wiggle, it'll come off. It'll be the same on the other side. And an application of the modular strap, whether you have the MS1, the first version, or our current new generation MS2. Same thing, find that edge of the split bar buckle, loop it on, and you are good to go. Now when you do have these modular straps on, you're gonna see, again, there is a little bit of that wiggle room, but for the most part, as long as this modular strap and the Firefly is tight enough, compressed against you, it shouldn't come off. All right, so if you wanna mount your Firefly onto the front of your DV2 strap, the best way or the most ergonomical position would be on the bottom to rows. And with the Firefly and any other pouches we have, you actually still can run and apply the clips with your stabilizing strap on. What you're gonna do, grab your strap. With your strap, you're just gonna run it underneath the stabilizing strap. So remember, only 2 rows. So when you actually grab your Firefly, the easiest way to actually mount it on is if it is completely empty, easy to move around. So all you're gonna do is run it through all the webbing on the back. And also from a military guys out there, I know this is not the traditional standard way of looping through MOLLE. This is a quick, easy access way. And since we have these MOLLE clips, they're gonna stay in place versus our traditional snap ties and our grommets that we used to use back in the older days of the military. Now when actually trying to clip in your ends of the clips, what you're gonna do is actually push at the upper edge here, have that come through. Once you have that first part come through, run it through the bottom of the MOLLE clip, and you can actually push at the top here, and you'll have a little click that you hear, and then you'll do the same on the other side too. Now when you do the first one, going to the second one, you're gonna notice it's gonna be a little bit tighter to get the second MOLLE clip on. So you just have to play around for a little bit. And then push from the top to help push that all the way down. And you got a little click and you're all good. So if you do want to mount your Firefly to the side of the DV2, it is another popular way that people like to use their Firefly. If you do have a standard traditional MOLLE webbing version of your DV2, you're going to use the webbings that are closer to the main compartment. This is a little bit too thin, so it's honestly the same application of how you mounted it on the shoulders, on the sling strap. Literally run it through these 2 columns, clip it through, and you're good to go. Make sure your Firefly is empty. If you have a version of the DV2 that has a laser cut MOLLE on the side, you're gonna just find that same spacing, run the clips through, and you're gonna still apply it the same way you have with the way the MOLLE webbing itself. All right, so if you want to mount the Firefly onto the sling strap, the Nemesis, it's honestly the same way you do on a DV2, just because the Nemesis sling strap is just a modified version of the DV2 strap. The cool thing about the Nemesis is that you can actually completely remove the strap off the Nemesis, so that makes it a little bit easier to mount the Firefly onto it. All right, so with the Firefly, you can actually, as you see, you can mount it to the front of the Nemesis shoulder strap or the side of the Nemesis. So specifically with the side of Nemesis, it's actually pretty convenient because when you actually sling the bag forward in front of you, you can actually access everything you need in Nemesis here, in your other pockets, and also pull from the glove dispenser at the side of the Firefly. So when you're trying to actually access the main compartment of the Nemesis, and if you have Firefly mounts on the side, you're gonna see that there is enough space to where the size of the Firefly is not gonna impede on the main compartment zipper. So one of the main functions of why the Firefly was designed to be the primary first aid access that can be mounted to the front of the DV2 and Nemesis. Some people ask why actually mount it there, just because when you're approaching the scene, your bag is most likely to be slung forward, or your shoulder strap is gonna be forward on your chest. And when you're approaching the scene for certain injuries, no matter what the case is, sometimes it's a pretty simple, your athlete patient just needs tape, wound control, and a Firefly is perfect for that instance, so that when you approach your patient, you actually don't even have to go into your bag sometimes, and you can actually do what you need with everything you have in your Firefly, whether it's your wound control, again, having a roll of Power Flex, a roll of white tape, and you have your scissors right there.